Chapter 2164. Looking for Jiu. Zhang Yi waved the long sword in his hand. Come on. Deng Shintong and Fatty Su attacked Zhang Yi quickly, one in front and one behind. There is no need to use other abilities because that would be too bullying. It only takes one move of Second Hand of Time, and in Zhang Yi's mind, every one of their next actions is so clear. Zhang Yi rushed forward with a knife in an instant. Deng Shintong's sword fell, but was easily blocked by him. Then he turned around to remove the power of the sword, and then dodged the attack of Fatty Su's nine-toothed rake. He was fighting 1 against 2, and it didn't seem to be very difficult, but he didn't win in a short time. This made Fatty Su and Deng Shintong excited. It works! Their months of hard work were not in vain. It was not until they had fought for more than 30 moves that Zhang Yi used his powerful strength to break the sword in Deng Shintong's hand. The long sword was placed on Fatty Su's neck. Fatty Su had a bitter face, and the nine-toothed rake in his hand turned into a cold blue light. Lauda, you are so brave. I surrender. Zhang Yi sheathed his sword and said, I was able to defeat you because I have the ability of time, which gave me an advantage. Otherwise, I would have a hard time fighting either of you one-on-one. You did well. Judging from your current state, defeating the target won't be difficult. I'm relieved, Zhang Yi said with a smile. With Zhang Yi's approval, the two of them became more confident. However, we still have to train rigorously from now on. We can't slack off at all. Zhang Yi warned the two of them seriously again, and they both agreed. Don't worry, this is a life-and-death battle that concerns the future of the entire Huaxu nation. We dare not be careless. Zhang Yi left their training ground and went to see the other aliens. He must test the strength of these people himself. However, when testing, he would let his opponent go and would fight back seriously for a few moves even if he could kill the opponent instantly. The reason is simple. What everyone needs at this time is confidence. It feels good if you act so smart and defeat them all, but if you destroy the morale of the army, how can you fight in the future? When they arrived at Shengjing District, Zhang Dawen and Sun Wuer, codenamed the Monkey King, formed a combat team. Zhang Yi checked the two's combined attack training and found that their combination was the most satisfactory. Because Zhang Dawen himself is equivalent to teacher Sun Wuer. After all, the entire Zodiac organization was formed by him personally selecting and training talents. Their cooperation is very tacit and reassuring. However, Zhang Dawen called Zhang Yi aside and asked with a smile, Hun Dun, I'm not being nosy, but there's something I'm really concerned about. We've been training for over 4 months. Are we going to continue the war against the Wulwan Empire? There haven't been any major waves in the sea lately. Did you do something? Not only Zhang Dawen, everyone has this doubt. They train here every day and no one knows when it will end. Of course, no one had any objections, because this kind of gathering opportunity was rare. The strong people from each region could communicate with each other and learn from each other's strengths, which would be of great help in improving their abilities. Zhang Yi looked at Zhang Dawen with a smile. Almost. I'm still waiting for something. Something?
What?
Zhang Dawen's face was full of confusion. We shouldn't have any shortage of what you want in our major regions, right? Zhang Yi shook his head. I'll keep it secret for now. I can't even tell you.
Just believe me.
When I tell you we can start a war, I'll definitely be fully prepared. Zhang Dawen thought about it, nodded and said, We are still very confident in your work. After checking the training results of all the aliens, he also confirmed the preparations for other war resources, including the huge mechanical army that has been fully charged and is waiting to go to the battlefield, the god of death of love that has been remodeled and has even greater power, the Tianhai Fortress with enhanced firepower, and the super battleship built by Liu Karen. Almost done. There's just one last thing I need to confirm. Zhang Yi narrowed his eyes. The last thing, seeing is believing. The information you get from infiltration is not as good as seeing it with your own eyes. Zhang Yi planned to go to the Wulwan Empire and find someone before the war broke out. Vermilion Cornice. The girl who sneaked into the Wulwan Empire alone like a madman and turned the empire upside down. She must have a lot of information about the Wulwan Empire and is familiar with the various terrains and important buildings within the Wulwan Empire. If we can find her, the victory puzzle of this war will be more perfect. The entire Huashu Kingdom, weapons, aliens, and mechanical legions are all ready. The war is about to begin. Zhang Yi personally walked through every training ground and checked the quality of the weapons. At this time, the Wulwan Empire was still unaware that the uninhabited island had fallen. It's not that they are not sensitive enough, but that their understanding of Huashu Kingdom and Zhang Yi is still stuck in the distant past. They couldn't imagine that Zhang Yi already possessed power that was no less than that of their civilization. It is just like it is hard for humans to imagine that one day a group of monkeys will rush into their living area with guns and driving tanks. On this day, he came to Li Lingshue's laboratory in the central area of Blizzard City. Li Lingxue is now under house arrest. Because she helped Zhu Yu escape, the angry Zhu Zheng does not allow her to leave the laboratory. But she didn't care because she had no interest in anything other than doing experiments. Zhang Yi's arrival did not surprise Li Lingxue, but instead made her eyes shine like stars. She looked Zhang Yi up and down as if she were looking at a fine work of art. She has become obsessed with studying aliens. The more she studies human genes, the more magical the world she discovers. Are you Zhang Yi? Long time no see. I heard you've become very powerful now. It's a pity I didn't get your genes back then. Otherwise, I could have made Zhu Yu even more powerful. Zhang Yi touched his nose. If he had really given Blizzard City his blood sample and then used his genes to create Zhu Yu, then wouldn't Zhu Yu have become his and Yuan Kongye's child? It really makes me feel overwhelmed just thinking about it. No wonder Zhou Qi repeatedly reminded Zhang Yi not to let his genes leak out at will, as there were countless crazy scientists around the world who were eyeing his genes. Professor Li Lingxue, I have something I'd like to ask you for help with. Can you tell me how to find Zhu Yu? Chapter 2165. Infiltrating the Wulwan Empire. After Zhu Yu left Blizzard City, she turned off her communication equipment. Unless she took the initiative to contact others, no one could find out where she was. She didn't want Zhu Zheng to look for her. But Zhang Yi knew that Li Lingxue would definitely find a way, because no one knew Zhu Yu better than her. Li Lingxue scratched her head, which hadn't been washed in a week. Why are you looking for Zhu Yu? Isn't she doing well out there? Zhang Yi sighed. You don't know anything about the outside world, do you? You don't know how horrible Zhu Yu is doing right now. Zhang Yi told her about the conflict between Huashu Kingdom and Wulwan Empire, and also told her about Zhu Yu entering the headquarters of Wulwan Empire. I want to find her, otherwise, believe it or not, she will die there in no time. Zhang Yi stared at Li Lingxue and spoke word by word. He was not threatening Li Lingxue, he was just stating a fact. Zhu Yu is a madman who enters the Wulwan Empire regardless of the consequences. It is a place that even Zhang Yi dare not set foot in easily. At first, she was able to evade the pursuit of the Wulwan Empire with her magical abilities, but soon, when her abilities were almost exposed, there were many people who could get rid of her. Hearing Zhang Yi say this, Li Lingxue lowered her head and thought for a while, then scratched her hair hard, causing large pieces of scalp to fly away. Zhang Yi's action of taking half a step back was serious. I have no way to contact her, but I have a way to make her show up to see you when she wants to. As she spoke, she turned around, opened the drawer, and took out a reagent bottle. Although he looks sloppy, the things in the drawer are neatly arranged. Her sense of smell is 1,000 times more acute than a dog's, so I once made her a gift. This perfume is something only she can smell. When you arrive in the Wulwan Empire, pour it on her, and she will know you're coming. Zhang Yi took the bottle of perfume doubtfully. The Wulwan Empire is vast. Are you sure she can smell it? Then she shouldn't be a dog. She should be a super dog. Li Lingxue rubbed her nose. You can open it and smell it. Zhang Yi didn't understand what it meant. He opened the bottle of perfume and smelled it. He was filled with fragrance. He had never smelled such a fresh and sweet scent before. He felt refreshed. What's the problem? It's just a normal perfume. Li Lingxue put her hands in her jeans pockets and said with a wicked smile, This is the concentrated version. To you, it's just ordinary perfume, but to her, it's like a septic tank explosion. Seeing Zhang Yi's bewildered expression, Li Lingxue explained that concentrated perfume actually smells even more disgusting than feces. This is because it contains something called scatol, and just by hearing the name, you know what it is. Zhang Yi shook the perfume bottle in his hand and decided to give it a try. He packed up his things and said goodbye to Li Lingxue. Please wait a moment. Li Lingxue caught up and looked at Zhang Yi, seeming to want to say something but stopping herself. What's wrong? Zhang Yi asked in confusion. Can you do me a favor for the sake of science? Provide a little bit of your reproductive cells. Li Lingxue asked seriously. Zhang Yi. Seeing Zhang Yi's speechless look, Li Lingxue seemed to have made up her mind and took off her coat. Of course, if you don't like mechanical methods, primitive methods are also acceptable. Madman. It's rare for Zhang Yi to run away in front of a woman. I wonder what's going on in these scientists' minds. After obtaining the bottle of perfume, Zhang Yi returned to the shelter. This time when he went to the Wulwan Empire, he didn't plan to bring too many people, just a group of newly adopted digging beasts and giant chinchillas. And Mu Yan. Even with Ling's human body, this was still an extremely risky act. Zhang Yi felt a little nervous, but not much. A black shadow swam over under his feet and appeared in front of Zhang Yi, transforming into a black humanoid girl, half kneeling and saluting respectfully. Owner. Mu Yan's call of master came from the heart. If she had not met Zhang Yi by chance, it would be questionable whether she could survive now. Not to mention that nowadays he can get the protection of a big boss and be promoted to Ypsilon. Sure enough, in life, choice is more important than hard work. After half a month, Mu Yan had successfully been promoted to Ypsilon. After all, she had accumulated enough, and all she needed was a key to open the genetic lock. Zhang Yi looked down at her. Mu Yan's current ability index is 13,000 points. In fact, just as Zhang Yi thought, her talent is very average and may even be worse than that of Fatty Su. This cannot be blamed on her, but her foundation was damaged in Blizzard City. But it doesn't matter. Zhang Yi doesn't need her to have strong combat power, her ability attributes are enough. Now it's time to reintroduce her. Mu Yan, codename Jingwei, ability Shadow Warrior. In the past, she was best at gathering intelligence in stealth mode and carrying people through shadows. He is not a combat type of alien, and his fighting power is not high. And under Zhang Yi's deliberate suggestion, the ability evolution she obtained after her promotion also tended to be auxiliary. The shadow space is larger, so it can accommodate more people. Her new ability, Black Gauze Dress, is the key to Zhang Yi's decision to infiltrate the Wulwan Empire this time. Her shadow can transform into a layer of black gauze. People covered by the gauze will have enhanced five senses and speed in the dark. And the most important thing is to erase one's own sense of existence. When Mu Yan was in the shelter, people often forgot her existence. This was a means of self-protection to avoid being targeted by powerful enemies. And now, she has brought this latent ability to the extreme. As long as you put on this gauze dress, you won't be noticed even if you stand behind others. Even if it appears in people's sight, it would be difficult to be noticed unless it is too abrupt. Human eyes and senses cannot accurately perceive everything around them. You just need to reduce your presence to the lowest level, to a level lower than a weed or a speck of dust, and no one will notice you. This is an alternative form of invisibility, but it is much more powerful than optical invisibility. It deceives the feelings of others. Zhang Yi has experienced this ability before. Now Mu Yan can even sit quietly on the sofa next to him without being noticed by him. Of course, this ability is not without its drawbacks. Erasing one's own existence, it is important not to do anything that highlights one's presence. If she wanted to kill someone, she would break the silence and be exposed. Therefore, this ability is only suitable for lurking and gathering intelligence, or avoiding powerful enemies. Stay with me. We'll try to get you more updates. Please like and subscribe and share the video with your friends. Love you all.